Yo, what's going on, guys? You know what it is. Kaiser Söze, Söze's House, episode 5. It's been a good week, man. I hope everyone's having a good day. We're only halfway through it. Got some big things going this weekend. Big things starting. I just got my new computer in. For those of you who've paid attention, it's been a whole long fucking process. But as I said before, now I can do a whole lot of shit that I couldn't do with my previous setup. The processing, I'm probably shooting a music video this weekend. My Friday Night Flexes and Söze Flip remix videos have already benefited from it slightly. It's been a process though, man. I don't know how many of you guys, unless you use your computer for like, I don't know, music, photography, something intensive. Getting a new computer is not a big thing, but for producers, photographers, anything where you use a lot of complex programs, getting a new computer is a bitch. Spent the last day and a half getting things set up, and man, I mean, it also feels funky. Like I'm working at like half speed right now. But I was just listening to something where they were talking about this girl was on a podcast. I want to say it was No Jumper. Yeah, it was No Jumper. I don't remember her name. But she's talking about she's fucking this dude who I guess works for the Phoenix Suns, right? And they're in the hotel room, and the whole basketball, like seven, not the whole basketball team, but like seven of the players from the Phoenix Suns players walk in the hotel room, and she's like, yeah. So then I sucked them off. I was like, what? Look, she's a grown ass woman. She can do whatever she wants to do. I don't give a fuck. Do you? You wanted to suck off those 7 dudes. Good for you, girl. Man, her father. I mean, look, it's one thing if you do that and then, like, you know what I mean? You just did that. It's another thing to do it and now have it on a huge, No Jumper is a gigantic podcast. And obviously, when you say something like that, it's also going to pick up steam on social media. And, it's everywhere. I can only imagine. The only way her parents haven't seen that is if they're not on social media. You know what I mean? Or if they're on like old people social media, they like use Facebook, but they've got it set to private. They've only got 64 friends. And in any other sense, it's even like just on websites. Her dad has got to be like, oh. That's man. Again, people can do whatever they want. I truly do not care. I hope that in 20, 30 years, I don't ever have to watch a video. My daughter talking about the time where a basketball team walked in the room and she sucked them off. I'm just saying, if I can have anything in life, that's on the checklist. Man. Shout out to that girl's dad. I feel bad. It's got to be crazy. Anyways, speaking of sexual things, I was reading this article. I got it pulled up right now of Jermaine Dupri. I guess this happened last year, but he talked about it again recently. He was criticizing, I guess, like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, and he's like, they're not real rappers, they're strippers rapping. Which, I don't know if Nicki Minaj was ever a stripper. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot about her backstory, but yeah, I mean, Cardi B is a stripper, or was a stripper, who raps and turned that into her thing. I do find it weird. Like, ultimately, I don't care, right? I'm just like, I like Cardi B. I think she's got bars, right? Yes, are a lot of the songs sometimes just about being overly sexual? Yeah, but whatever. Like, some things in life are just overly sexual. So I don't give a shit. But I gotta say, man, I disagree. Because I mean, the whole reason he said that is to essentially discredit their, skill or ability or whatever. And I gotta disagree, man. I think, I'm sure he feels like Megan Thee Stallion is on the same level because they're both hypersexual. But I disagree. I feel like I'm actually, and I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of female rappers most of the time. Like, there's just something about, I don't know. There's just something about, I think it's like a lot of women have higher pitched voices, and sometimes that's kind of sharp for my ears, right? But I mean, like, some people don't like Eminem because he's got kind of a higher pitched and like a kind of nasally tone, which is whatever. That's just, to each their own. But I feel like they're pretty good rappers, man. I'll be honest. I've heard Cardi B specifically. I'm like I said, I'm genuinely a Cardi B fan. I've heard some songs where I'm like, yo, that was hard. I've heard other songs where I'm like, yeah, that's actually, she's kind of telling a story. Like, I respect it. I definitely, I get where Jermaine's mind is at, right? Like, yeah, they are all, especially the radio hits. You know what I mean? Yeah, the radio hits are all talking about the same thing. But that's because it's radio. It's not like when men come out with a song on the radio, it's really much different. Like, it's all the same bullshit, pop culture, mainstream kind of song. You know what I mean? They all fit. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a radio song. And then there's other songs, speaking of Cardi B specifically, that I hear from like the album where I'm like, yo, that's a dope song. I really like that song, like genuinely. I'll put that in rotation. But I'm not surprised that that's not on the radio. Like, there's like singles are a thing, man. And I feel like that's what I feel like he's talking about. It's just like, this is the music they're putting out on the radio. But that is what it is. Like, that's just good marketing, essentially. I mean, being on the radio is the best form of advertisement. So of course they're putting shit on the radio. And in order to put shit on the radio, it has to be radio shit. Mostly. I will say, I'm going to talk about J. Cole. I'm sorry, guys. When Apparently came out and I heard that on the radio, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, that had a nice balance between a radio song, but like still a genuinely good song. Obviously, it's J. Cole. I'm not saying anything new. I'm over here giving my opinions about shit. That's what I do. Anyways. I just can't stop thinking about that. That girl's dead. What was I gonna say? Oh, boom. Oh, advertisement. Yeah, like that's how the radio works, right? But kind of to expand on like advertisement more. For a lot of you young cats, I know it's something that seems, because I felt this way about it too. It seems like very, and I think this is more of a hater kind of mind state. And I've had this mind state. So, I'm not going to deny at times I've, been negative or been a hater or whatever the fuck. I'm sure there's times I don't even know of where like, oh, I was just being a bitch. Whatever. Advertisement's an amazing thing with pop culture and shit right now. Or not pop culture, social media, right? Like, for me personally, I've had certain people hate on me and be like, oh, you shouldn't be... So dumb. You shouldn't be promoting music. You should just put it out, and if people like it, then you'll be successful. That is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever heard. I don't think these people are necessarily stupid. I just know that that is a dumb thing to say. You either don't understand how business and just growth work, or you're saying it just to be a hater, right? But like, I think like I can advertise pretty easily across the world. I'm just a dude. Like, this shit didn't exist. Hell, even like 10 years ago, it wasn't even 10 years ago. It was barely a thing. But like, being an independent or a small time artist, I'm genuinely thankful to have been born in this time. Like, I think there's great things that I would have been forced to learn if I was, 10 years older and I came up in like the early 2000s. Like, stories about people like waiting out in front of record labels, every day. They're like, I waited out for 4 months. I went there every single day until he took my CD. I think that's a crazy life experience. One, just crazy to be like, yeah, I did that. And two, I think it's a great experience to learn from, because, nowadays, if I want to get my shit heard, I can truly do it all from my computer right here. Like, yeah, is it quicker and obviously like more professional or has more avenues open and yada yada with a label? Yes, of course. But I have the ability to do shit myself. Like, everything. I can do everything myself. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people who do it too. You know what I mean? And I think it's seen in a weird way as kind of like selling out, which is bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, I just said, you know what I mean, like 14 times. I apologize. Promote your shit, man. Like, if you're any sort of artist, if you're trying to do anything where social media is a large factor in your success, spend money on promotion. At the end of the day, I could make the best song in the world ever. And if 20 people hear it, yeah, I might gain some of their friends. But that's, I might get 10 fans off of the best song ever that 20 people heard. But I can make a so-so song, throw $30 at advertisement, and I can make 100 fans. Like, promote your shit, people. That's a genuine, like, factor at this point. And that promotion also, you know what I mean? That's in-person promotion. That's performing at shows. All of that shit is advertisement. I'm over here giving advice like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know a little bit. And I learn. I pay attention to people, So, for you young, especially rappers, I talk to a lot of rappers. And I know a lot of rappers that make really good music, but they're not paying attention to promotion. And in person and shows and shit like that are cool, and it feels, yeah, like, oh, I did a show, I sold 20 tickets, they gave me $100. That feels great. I've gotten paid for shows, I've sold tickets, I have gotten more fans from $20 with Instagram promotions than I have from probably most of the shows I've done. And I haven't done a crazy amount of shows, but you know what I mean? In the 10 shows I've done, that's a lot of prep time. I could have just, nowadays, I mean, I did the shows when I was younger, but I could have just thrown $20 Instagram ads and gain a bunch of followers, a bunch of interaction. You know what I mean? People who can actually see my product every week when I'm putting something new out, and that grows over time. I'm going on and on, but you get what I'm saying. Don't be a dummy. Know where to spend your money. I was trying to be clever there. It didn't really. I think it would have been fine, but there was that little hiccup. Man, need to start freestyling more. I actually kind of mean that. I feel like I might start doing like a freestyling segment. Me and my brother, Teddy Rascal. Y'all heard him before. You're gonna hear some new shit this Friday. I'm gonna just tell you right now. Fire. What? Yeah. Hot. What was I saying? Oh yeah. You're gonna hear him on a track we're releasing this Friday. Kid's talented, man. It's actually annoying. He'll send me a song sometimes, and this is friendly competition, obviously. But he'll send me a song, and I'll be like, "This motherfucker." You know, it's always when you hear a good song, at least me as an artist, he'll send me a song, and I'll be like, "Oh shit! All right, I gotta top that. Like my next song's gotta be hot." How do I, or he'll do a style and I'm like, oh, I got to adapt that 100%. I got to jack it and then I got to see what I can do with it. Like, that's how you grow. That's how you get better. But him and this other dude, man, I got some music coming out for y'all. I'm gonna just tell you now. It's about to be a real good second half of 2020 because the first half, you know what I mean? Hopefully things in general will pick up. But for me, music, killing it. It's gonna be ridiculous. God damn it. I was saying something and I totally forgot. What I write? Boom. Nah. What was I saying? Teddy Rascal. Oh, yeah. Thinking about doing like a weekly segment, maybe like 15, 20 minutes. Teddy might do it with me. We might get on, freestyle, just have a little jam session. You know, he plays guitar. I'll play a little bit of guitar. Might just fuck around, do it on live. But I think freestyling is I bet you it's good for your brain. I bet you if they did a scientific study on people who don't freestyle, so the vast majority of the population, and people who do freestyle, there's less cognitive issues as you get older. As long as you did it a lot when you were younger and, you know, probably maintained would make it better. But just in general, doing it at all. Because, I don't know, maybe because the synapses, synapses. I don't know. Synapses and neurons probably are firing constantly in those avenues in your brain when you're freestyling. Like words just come to you better. You know what I mean? Like I stumble over my words a lot, especially when recording like this podcast. But because I don't talk as much as I used to. Like I used to have a lot more long conversations and just talking constantly. And I still talk a lot, don't get me wrong. But it's a little bit different. I'll go hours sometimes and I'll just say like a couple words, which is normal probably for some people. But for me, it's not. And I can definitely feel my brain like sometimes like it like lags when I'm trying to think of words on the fly. But we might do that segment. I've got another couple of segments I'm thinking about starting. We'll see. I might start myself an entire TV show. I don't know. I might start a whole thing though. I might have like a every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a morning segment, afternoon thing. I don't know. I'm trying to get busy. I'm trying to really capitalize the last half of this 20 twice. What was I gonna? Boom. Yeah. Oh, so Katie and I have been watching, and I know a lot of you have seen it. If you haven't, you need to watch this shit. You know what I will say about like reality shows and whatnot is, in my experience, men don't normally watch them, right? We might have them on occasionally, but we don't really, in my experience, watch them a whole lot. But especially single men. Single men have no ideas about what's going on in reality shows world, right? But if you're in a relationship, or then you just get into a relationship, your girl will be watching whatever, and then you'll hear it. You're in the room, whatever. You're in the kitchen, whatever. You'll hear it, and you'll be like, "Oh, that was what that bitch said. That was crazy. What? Oh, what's going on?" And so you stand there, and you're like, "Oh, interesting." And you walk away. You go back to what you're doing. Then you hear something else, and you come around the corner. Like, damn, it's really. Oh man, they yelling at each other, or like something. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay. And then you walk away, and then before you know it, you're like, "What the fuck did that bitch Tina say to Jamie?" Cause Shalonda don't play that shit, and if she jumps in, I swear, and you're so deep. I hate reality shows, but I love reality shows. If I'm forced to watch, I'll get involved in them. I hate it, but we've been watching Married at First Sight. That shit's crazy. And here's why I think it's crazy. Obviously, I was just gonna say it's crazy. Of course, I'm gonna tell you my opinions on it. I don't think arranged marriage is crazy, right? In some cultures, arranged marriage is a completely normal thing. The success rate is, the success rate. So we've been watching Married at First Sight, and I looked up the success rate because I was like, I wonder how successful it is compared to regular marriage, right? Or American or Western, whatever the fuck, styles of courting. Yeah, I said courting. I'm fucking fancy fool. And it's like 24%, and then regular marriage is 59% successful, or Western, whatever, you know what I mean. But I would assume, like in Indian culture, right? I would assume their arranged marriage is probably higher than American arranged marriages. I think the big problem with Married at First Sight is, I don't know if, just being real, I don't know if Americanized people do very well with not being in control of everything. You know what I mean? I think a big part of a relationship, and I've learned this over the years, I've definitely not been the best at it, is just letting go of shit. You know what I mean? Or not being so, not sweating the small stuff. Or if like, I don't particularly like this, but the other person does. Or, I like this and the other person doesn't. So like, I can do it on my own. Or like camping. Like if your significant other doesn't like camping, oh well, I go camping twice a year. I just go with my friends. She stays home. That shit's fine. But I think American people, we want things, and obviously America's gigantic. There's so many different types of people. It's impossible to generalize, but I'm gonna do it. You have to generalize. You know what I mean? Like 99% of the things I say about human behavior is a vast generalization, as with everyone. But Americans, we want everything to be so perfect, right? So they're like one of the girls' issues, she was like, oh, I don't necessarily find him attractive. Turns out the things she finds attractive are bad traits. You know what I mean? Like, and that's real. Some people are attracted to bad traits. They're actually attracted when someone doesn't want them. That's what they're attracted to. And then once they get them, they're like, I'm not into it anymore. Because the whole reason they were there was for the wrong reasons. I bet you the success rates are different. I mean, and as you get older, you learn all these things. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what culture you are, ideally, everyone continues to grow. They get wiser, they get older, they get smarter, they have more experiences. And you just realize, like, everything doesn't have to be exactly how you thought it had to be. You adapt. You know, when I was a kid, maybe I thought I was gonna be an astronaut. Just because I thought I wanted that at one point doesn't mean that that shit can't change. And it also doesn't mean that, you know, real talk, maybe it's not even realistic. Like, it's kind of a, maybe you're not the best person. And so you're not going to get, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. People going to say that to me. Anyways, I actually totally forgot to set a timer, so I have no idea what type of time we're at. But I'm going to call it right here because it looks like I might have went over my time. Shit. All right, people. Well, anyways, just to recap, watch Married at First Sight. Shit's entertaining. Entertaining. Goddamn. Young artists and artists in general. Promote your shit. You have the ability to advertise by yourself. Take advantage of that shit. Jermaine Dupri. Did I say it was Damon Dash earlier? No, I think I said Jermaine. Anyways, come on, bro. Cardi B is pretty dope. Nicki Minaj is pretty good too, let's be real. Obviously, they're doing something right. Gotta give him at least. I mean, come on. Anyways, girl who sucked off the Suns basketball team. Do you? I mean, I'm sure you had a good time. Good for you. It's one hell of a story. You know what I mean? Oh man, I didn't even think about in the future, this girl gonna have kids. And whatever you want to say, yeah, people can do whatever the fuck they want. But if I found a video of my mom being like, yeah, I was getting railed and a bunch of dudes walked in. So oh my God, I'd be like, this, man. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah, that's a great way to end it. Yeah. Anyways, I love you, Mom. All right, guys. Ooh, my throat's cracking. All right, y'all. I'm out. Bye.